So we're back for another episode of Highwater Trek Co podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Katie.
And it's Monday morning and we're trying to get it together. So please bear with us and give us a little bit of patience and grace as we move into today's episode. I hope you guys are all doing well.
Yes, if you're in our part of the world, you're enjoying a little bit of cooler weather.
It's nice. Autumn is...
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather. She's showing herself, and it's feeling very nice outside. We don't have any leaves turning or anything much to yet, but it is definitely cooling off. So hopefully we see a downtick in the amount of mosquitoes and ticks.
Yes, please.
Because they are still driving me crazy. My daughter and I went for like a small hike last weekend, and we got absolutely covered in sea ticks, which we immediately like spotted them, but we had to like strip down, drive home, get showers, and we still had several bites. But I bet, like on my pants, I bet there were 1,000 of them. Like,
oh my gosh,
mass amounts.
That's terrible. I haven't had as much trouble with those this year. It's been the mosquitoes for me.
They're bad this year.
And they have put me... It's so annoying. It's like I want to be outside and enjoy it, and then the mosquitoes start swarming, and they put me into such a rage that I have to kind of like get introspective about it, because I'm like, you need to calm down.
Well, usually they're pretty well dried up by this time of year, but we've had a lot of rains and floods here and there all throughout the summer, and it's really kept that mosquito population popping off. So anytime, guys.
Always something to battle and always something to be thankful for. Always
a bug to bitch about on the podcast, I guess. But
would you just desiccate already? Yeah, the mosquitoes. And that has been lately replaced by the ragweed pollen, which has tried to take me out.
But a lot of sniffly noses out there, so we'll try to keep that to a minimum on today's episode, but no promises. We'll do our best. Sometimes these things just cannot be helped. But it is certainly entering a really beautiful time here in the Ozarks as we're facing fall and hopefully planning some new hiking trips and all sorts of different things going on. Lots of excitement.
Yes, I'm ready.
So today we've turned up to try to talk to you guys a little bit about an experience that we both partook in May, and that they are doing again next May, and that is the Ozark Mountain Challenge. I know you guys have heard us talk about this, but you have not yet heard our recap of our experience.
We needed some processing time.
We did. Apparently, like a few solid months of processing time. But what a wonderful time we had.
Yeah. I'm going to try really hard not to refer to this year's as last year's, because I kept finding myself doing that. I don't know why it feels like it's been a year ago already.
Well, a lot has happened since May 4th, which was the date of the challenge this year in 2024. It was May 4th, and it took place in Sam A. Baker State Park. And if you guys haven't yet heard of this challenge, we would definitely recommend that you get online, get on Facebook, and go check it out. This last May was the first Ozark Mountain Challenge, but they already have next year's schedule, and we feel like it'll probably continue for years to come.
I think so.
I hope so. It was a great event, and they had a great turnout, and I think they pulled it off really pretty seamlessly, so I hope they keep doing it.
They did. I'm just looking at you and nodding. Sorry if that's awkward.
No, it's okay. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's weird. So,
So the details for this event.
Yes.
The best way to describe it is that it's an ascent-only hiking challenge. And it's in Sam A. Baker State Park. Like Sam said, there is Mudlick Mountain, which is kind of like a fire road. And there's a fire tower at the top. And so the challenge is to make that ascent 9 times. It's 1.9 miles each time. You might as well say 2. Mm-hmm. Almost 2,000 feet of elevation gain for each ascent. So the grand total is 7,980 feet of ascent and a little over 17 miles, which is the equivalent of climbing Mount Olympus in Washington. You have 12 hours to complete the challenge. It runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and they did do kind of a slightly staggered start to make sure that it wasn't too congested at the beginning. So those are the deets.
That's kind of the rundown. Why was Mount Olympus kind of their goal?
Well, I looked in the thing, and what it says, this is a quote, although in Greek mythology Olympus meant mountain or gathering place of the gods, in modern times Olympus represents a place or state of joy and happiness. So I could see why that was an inspiring
I love that.
Inspiring one.
Yeah, so basically, guys, you have 12 hours to get up this Mudlick Mountain Trail 9 times. It is incline only, and then they provide shuttles on the way down in various vans and Humvees and such. So it's strictly uphill miles, 17 uphill miles.
Yes.
I don't think it leveled out once.
No.
But it is not a race. You know, within your individual self, it's certainly a challenge, but it's not a race between participants. It is strictly just a challenge to see what you can do and if you can do it.
Yeah, and you certainly don't have to do all 9. You can make that your goal, but you can do as many or as few as you would like.
Right, and so if you are to complete all 9 trips up, you were awarded with a really sweet green hat that only the people that completed the challenge were able to be gifted. And so we are very happy to report that we received our green hats.
And they're gorgeous.
We are green hat wearers. And we completed the challenge. Each in our own way, but we did it. So I think we were both a little worried about it moving into it, but we did it.
Did.
We conquered that. Mount Olympus and Mudlick Mountain. We conquered all that stuff. So we had a really, really good time. So we just, hope to encourage others to maybe if they want to try the challenge. Next year, 2025, it is scheduled for May 3rd. But we can get into a little bit more of some of the things that they're maybe planning a little bit differently, it looks like, for next year. But let's talk a little bit more about the experience itself. I think one of my favorite things was that there were tons of great sponsors and some really sweet swag.
Yeah. I tried to remember everything in the swag bag. Okay, here's what I remembered. The tote bag
Sweet
itself.
tote bag from Wally Bees.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wally.
And then we have a t-shirt, which I love. It's super soft. You got your white bib. You got like a little chunk of wood that had the brand that's like the logo for the event on it for like a keepsake, a sticker, and then like some electrolytes and drink mixes. Do you remember anything else in the tote bag itself?
Sticker. That pretty much sums it up, but it was a nice little tote full of goodies.
It really was.
And a variety of like electrolyte packs and stuff, and just different sorts of things.
And then there were other sponsors that had like Bucked Up had t-shirts and hats and stuff. So there was other stuff you could grab. And then on the bibs, your white bib is the one that you wear throughout the day, and then when you have finished your 8th ascent, you get the green bib for your final lap.
For the final lap, which that was such a cool moment to see people transitioning into green bibs, towards the later part of the day.
Also, depending on where you're coming from, you do have the option of checking in either the night before or the morning of the challenge. I think you just show up like between 6:30 and when it starts, and you can get your bib and your all of that registration done.
Yeah. If it is something you're interested in doing, you might check out camping and cabins in the area. We were lucky. Katie found a campground spot right there in Sam A. Baker. There is a KOA who is also, I think, one of the event sponsors and ran a bunch of the shuttles. There's places to stay there. I think there's a variety of lodging in the area, but it might be something you start checking out early if you are interested, because I know most people did stay. It's just so far from most anything.
Right.
It's hard not to stay. And you're tired after the race. So, yeah. So if you get all 9 trips, you get your sweet green hat, and that's kind of the goal. But, of course, everybody has different goals. And I think no matter how many trips up Mudlick Mountain you'd make, you would be cheered on the entire way, whether it was 1 trip or 9 or 10 or 12. So... It's a really, really positive and fun environment, and I just think anybody that's interested should definitely give it a try.
We should.
So let's talk about what race day looks like. What it looked like, at least from our perspective a little bit. What was our experience?
They had coffee.
They had good eats. Lots of good foods. They had great breakfast sandwiches and such provided early in the morning. They had tons of good drinks, snacks, all sorts of things to keep us hydrated and energized as we climb the hill. They had kind of the snack stations and stuff set up at the top.
There was an outhouse at the bottom and a water station. And then they did also have some bins where if you had a bag that you didn't want to carry or some personal items you didn't want to carry but wanted to have close, you could leave them in those bins. So they had water. I think they still had like coffee and stuff available throughout the day and some swag.
The food was really top notch throughout the day. Like hot breakfast sandwiches in the morning, really nice deli wraps for lunch, and they were delicious.
That lunch was one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Except I really couldn't get my appetite to get going, although I know I needed to eat. But
yeah.
Anyway, really wonderful food. Such a fun day. I was a little nervous about how it was all going to go, but they really did a great job of planning and organizing, and I really feel like it went really smoothly, so I can only imagine it'll be that much better for this next year.
Especially considering this is the very first time they've hosted this. I was really blown away by how well it flowed.
So at the beginning of the race, it was kind of a mad dash. It was a slightly staggered start, but it was still kind of an insanity, as I expected it to be. But, you know, over time, everyone kind of paced out and spread out, and the day went really smoothly. And so we would be hiking up the hill, and there would be shuttles coming down the other side, and it worked better than I could have imagined.
How many water stations were along the hill? Was there 2 or 3?
I'm not sure. I know at least 2.
I remember at least 2.
Did you stop at any of them?
No.
Me either.
So this is entirely up to you, but I did carry like a tiny hydration pack, just with my little water bottles that I could refill. And that's just a me thing. Like, if you've listened for any length of time, you know I have kind of a weird obsession with hydration. So it was easier for me to do that and let myself sip throughout the day to stay hydrated than trying to, like, camel up at the water stations. Just my preference, but there's absolutely no need to carry anything if you don't want to.
You certainly do not have to. I did carry a pack with a water bladder. I didn't have to refill it all day, which I like that. I don't have a problem with that, but you don't have to carry anything at all. So that's just personal preference. And
then at the top, you have the best hype team you've ever experienced in your life.
Really great, guys. The volunteers, everyone involved was just so encouraging and friendly. They were awesome.
And then when you get to the top, they will mark on the back of your bib which lap you're on. So the bib shows like 1 through 8, and each one has sort of like an equivalent mountain from different locations. And then there's also a branding board, which is pretty cool.
It was cool.
I was a little bit scared of it initially, but your name's on it, and you get little boxes for each ascent, and you put your brand whenever you get to the top. So
it was so cool at the end of the day to see those branding boards so full of brands. People, I think, that really didn't imagine that they were going to be able to do all 9 trips still did it. And so there was just so many people with their 9 maxed out on the board, and that was really cool to see. And the branding boards were really cool. They had like electronic brands, so it kind of made it easier. And because I don't know about you, but I get to the top of that hill and like go to brand my thing, and I'm kind of like shaking. Like, could you just do this for me?
I was a little shaky on a few of
them. I know. But just really neat, I think, element to the whole experience, and it gave you kind of that sense of accomplishment, like getting to put your brand up every time and then seeing them start to add up. You know, it just, I think, mentally was very helpful. And
yeah, there was something super satisfying about that for
me.
It was exciting every time.
And all the good snacks and stuff were at the top. I don't know how they'll do it next year, but there were lots and lots, honestly, just really great sponsors that put out all sorts of different things, and even pickles and bananas, and I guess those were the hot items, and that they're going to have more of next
announced
year.
This year that, like, specifically, we'll have even more pickles and bananas.
Yeah. The pickles went fast.
They also had people doing massage. It was on the ground, but I do believe they have yoga mats and a table this year.
I saw that they're actually going to have tables this year, which I think that would be so cool too. There's a lot of just bustle of excitement at the top. There's a lot of people. Some people were kind of taking a break, sitting down. There was loud music going, being silly, and it was just a good time up there.
Good energy.
Definitely.
So there was also, I didn't leave a message on it. I kept forgetting, but there was a board where you could write messages too, right? Like encouraging ones.
There was. I wrote you messages, but you never saw them.
I'm so mad that I didn't see them.
It's okay.
I got really wound. I'm not going to lie. That energy pulled me right in.
Well, Katie absolutely smashed the thing into a billion pieces, so I don't know if we're ready to get into that, but we can. Katie took us off for like 6 months and really focused in on her training, and it showed because she absolutely freaking killed this challenge. And no, it wasn't a race, but damn it, she was fast. Okay.
I had like no sense of competitiveness about it until I got there. And then it wasn't being competitive against other people, it was like against myself. Because my goal going in was obviously like, I want to do all 9 ascents and get that hat. But my secondary goal was that I wanted to feel pretty good doing it. Like I was hoping that I was doing enough training that at the end of the day I wouldn't be completely wiped out. And I did feel really strong all day. So really what happened is that I saw this event in November of 2023, and for whatever reason I got super, super hyped about it. And, like, sat down and wrote out this whole training plan. Like, not every day, but kind of, like, my generalized. And at the time, I was, like, kind of laughing at myself. Because I'm like, it is 6 months from now.
It paid off, though. Because she killed it, you guys. She absolutely freaking rocked it. Can I just say, she got... Well, there are no places. But she finished second among all the women. There's a lot of women. That is super impressive. And kudos to you. You killed it.
Thanks. I was really shocked, but...
Can I also just tell you that I love that the one woman that beat you is older?
I know.
Like, props to her.
She did amazing.
100%. Like, I love that. If you
too.
had to be beat by somebody, I'm glad it was an older woman. Like, hell yeah,
She was
girl.
one I found inspiring. And we found that inspiring, like, on a lot of our backpacking trips, too. These 80-year-olds that are, like, smoking our asses.
Right. And there was, just to throw this out there, and anyone that participated knows, there was a woman there that carried her baby. Like, it was incredible. There was cancer survivors. There were people currently battling cancer. It was a really wonderful variety of folks, and everybody was so kind, and there were so many inspirational stories to be heard amongst the group. And that was probably my favorite part, was just getting to observe and getting to know a few of the folks there. I wish I would have done more, but I was trying up a hill.
That was one of my favorite parts too, was like everybody really was on their own unique journey. And some people really did have some major limitations, and I loved seeing how many like completely blew their own goals out of the water.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of people surprised themselves.
They did, and I did reach out to get the stats from last year. So out of 200 participants, 71% did all 9 laps.
Wow.
And a lot of those, you know, they had a personal goal of like, well, I'm going to try for 3 or I'm going to try for 5. And they did all 9.
That's impressive. I don't know about everyone else, but I think once you hit a certain point of like, I've got 6 down, like you just have to keep going. You can't quit at 6 or 7. You're so dang close, you know.
And even if you convinced yourself like halfway up a lap that you're done, you get up there and that hype team, like they were so good at getting you like pumped to keep going.
Right. They would change the energy and help you find your strength. So I will say I also finished. I did not train anywhere near as hard as Katie did, and that also showed, but I finished. I did fine. I'm pretty satisfied with how I did. All in all, I really just wanted to finish, and I was very ready to be done, but I wasn't miserable, and I felt okay after. I was ready to go dancing or something afterwards, but I think I was on a bit of a, you know, just feeling good, those endorphins running and having a good time. So all in all, I'm satisfied with how I did and just super proud and impressed of Katie. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say if I was to give anybody any advice, it's that you can't train too much. Because I thought I was training too much, but I'm happy that I did. The secondary piece to that advice is that you're going to find a lot of different information on how to train. I think they even have kind of a little training plan on the Facebook page, so you can follow that. I think if I were to give someone like personal advice, it would be that when you think about an ascent only challenge, you're probably like, okay, I need buns of steel and I need quads that can crush a watermelon.
Right.
Which is not true. But I would like not neglect your aerobic base, because that's kind of historically been a weak spot for me, but I put a lot of focus on that. And walking uphill, even if you're walking like as slow as humanly possible, it gets your heart pumping.
It does.
So I would definitely make sure you maintain balance between those two focus points, and you should be fine. But I also would not let anything stop you from trying. If you only have limited time to even try and train, like I really think you can still go for it, because many people did with like major limitations.
I happen to know a fellow that didn't train at all and still completed 9 trips up the hill, so it can be done.
Yeah,
it can be done. Slow and steady kind of a thing. I didn't feel nearly as draggy as I have after some of our backpacking days somehow.
Yeah, I felt jet lagged, but my body felt fine. But
they were like shoving us full of good foods the whole time, so maybe that was a part of it.
That'd be the other thing, is like, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the energy, but make sure you eat and drink your water. Like, you have 12 hours. Take care of your body. It's doing something really hard.
And most people were wrapped up well before the 12-hour time frame was up. I know we all were. There was maybe a couple people finishing up still kind of when the end of the day came. But most people really didn't have much trouble getting it done within the time frame if they were going to do it.
Yeah.
The weather, hot, sticky, but overall we had pretty good weather, lots of gnats, but would it be a hike in the Ozarks without gnats? I don't think it would be. So, what else?
Well, there is dinner provided and an after party.
Ooh, that
the
dinner.
Beverages, including some alcoholic ones, if that's your jam. They had some local beers that were pretty good.
They were good. Some local brewers came, and they had some tasty beers. Also, like Will Fisher, the Budweiser rep out there, was there with all the Michelob Ultra you could want. Like, even at the top of the hill, it's like, you want beers? Yeah. We got beers.
Oh, they were pawning them off.
Yeah, they were.
I think we still have some, actually, that we never drink.
We do, too.
That we brought home.
We do, too. I need to cook something with them. But still, it was just kind of that environment. Not that it was, like, super party, but it was, especially by the end of the day, starting to loosen up a little bit, which was fun.
People were celebrating.
They were.
As they should.
So we gathered for this really lovely dinner and kind of shared some nice words and took some huge group pictures, and maybe we'll share one. That would be kind of neat. And we had some really delicious pastas and bread and salad, and I think everybody was pretty much ready to hit the hay after that. But it was really, really fun after dinner. Super good time. Yeah, the bread. I ate a few pieces of that bread. I kept going back and just taking bread, but
you earned it, damn it.
It's like, you know how that meal is after a good long backpacking trip or hike. Like, it's crucial, and they did not disappoint.
No, it was fantastic.
Really fun time.
So I'm going to run through some for this year, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely, because we want you guys... we want this to be a successful event, so please check it out.
I said this year. I mean next year, guys.
The next one.
The date for next year is May 3rd, 2025. Again, the challenge itself runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There will be an after party. Something they're doing different this year is Friday evening at the top of Mudlick Mountain. They're going to have a little ceremony called the Spark of Strength ceremony, which sounds pretty cool. And they said it will be wrapped up by 7:30, so everyone can get into bed and get ready.
Get rested up.
The cost this year, the early bird pricing, which is prior to March 14th, is listed at $189.72, and then after March 14th, it's $217.94. This is if you sign up through like the Ultra sign up page. I do think they put a post out that says if you want to go pay the chamber directly, or I think if you do like Venmo, you can save a little bit on the fees. So that's something to check into. And we'll definitely link all of the relevant info in the show notes. So the cost covers your breakfast, lunch, your dinner and beverage, all your hydration and nutrition, snacks, all that good stuff throughout the day, the recovery aid, and all of your event swag. I'm not sure what exactly the swag is. It just umbrella termed event swag.
Right.
So.
I think they are probably, still gathering things. They'll probably have new sponsors this year with new items. So it's just really too early to say what they will or will not have. I know there was kind of a question if they would have a t-shirt, but I noticed on the sign up that they do ask you your t-shirt size. So I'm assuming there's probably a t-shirt. There's always a t-shirt. Come on.
And then again, you could either check in the night before. There's a building at Sam A. Baker State Park called the CCC Lodge, so you could check in there Friday night between 4 and 6, or you can check in the morning of the event at the start from like 6:30 to 7 a.m. And then pretty much the same challenge. It did say that there's 3 additional shuttles just for the first lap to minimize congestion, because like Sam said, that was kind of the only time that it was a little bit more crowded. Everyone dispersed after that. So if you're returning and you conquer all 9 laps again, you get a green hat, but you also get a lizard pin.
That lizard pin is the only thing really calling to me.
Yeah.
Well, not the only thing, but it's tempting me, I'll say that.
And if you haven't heard us mention it before, the lizard sort of comes from like the mountain lizard vibes, but that they sort of like were pushing of like, we want chill mountain vibes. And right. Mountain lizard was a part of that.
It's kind of it's kind of the theme, right? Is that we're lizards on the top of a mountain. I'm not sure why, but I'm into it. It's fine.
I'll be a mountain lizard.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then I think the other thing that's different, like we said, there's going to be yoga mats and massage recovery tables this year. This year, you're also going to get to have your first name on your bib.
I love that.
And then it says there's a dedicated cooling towel water station at the top, which sounds pretty great. And I think that's about it. I think because so many conquered it last year, they're also kind of saying, like, hey, do more than 9 if you want to. Like,
right.
I don't know if there's anything extra you get for doing more.
I've heard rumor of an incentive, but we don't know for sure if there is incentive for doing extra laps, but some people just want to, so.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish that I had this year just kept going a little bit, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, to see what you could do.
To see what I did have in me, but then I'm also reminding myself that, like, it wasn't just about that, like, my husband was there with me and you guys, and I also just wanted to be with you and have fun, so.
Yeah.
No regrets, but I can't help but be curious.
Well, it's never too late to try again.
That's right.
Oh, I did want to mention, I think it was 200 participants in 2024, and then for the upcoming 2025, they're letting in a few more at 220. I do think they've already sold over a quarter of entry tickets, so
yeah,
this isn't for another like 9 months or something. So they're already booking it up pretty quickly. So if it is something you're interested in, I would say don't wait, and I wouldn't wait until March.
Yeah.
I don't know that they will have any left, and they may, but I figure they'll have a great turnout. They sold out last time, and I imagine they'll do it again.
Me too, which is nice. I'm glad that they've had so much interest.
And if anyone's curious, the funds raised, I was reading on their website, it goes to the Poplar Bluff Chamber of Commerce, which is a nonprofit organization. They do a bunch of cool events, actually, if you ever look at the Poplar Chamber Facebook page. But a lot of the money is just going to go straight back into the following year's event as well. So, just so you know.
Yeah. I think we got most of the relevant deets, but we're going to link the page, so definitely follow it and keep watching all of their posts for more information, but also just for, there's been a lot of testimonials shared from the 2024 event, so those are fun to read through, lots of pictures.
Well, we just had such a great time, and I have to say, Steve, the main organizer, all the people that were helping him, they were all so kind and encouraging, and they really did a wonderful job, so kudos to them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And thank you.
And yeah, thank you. And it couldn't be easy to pull off an event like that and to know exactly how it was going to go. So props.
We did reach out to Steve and ask what he would say to inspire you guys if you're thinking about participating. And he said, and I'm just going to quote this, "There were so many amazing stories of friendships which were created, and people like Cindy, who is battling cancer and had a goal of 3 ascents and did all 9.
Woo, Cindy.
The thing I like to remind people is that we will celebrate your accomplishment regardless of how many ascents you make." And that was very true.
Absolutely true. People weren't really paying attention to that, to like your ascent number or anything. You know, everyone would cheer on if someone had a green bib, because obviously you knew they were about done. But it was just a super supportive and encouraging environment without comparison. So
The camaraderie was beautiful.
it was.
It reminded me of trail folk.
Yeah, me too. It, you know, brought in people we wouldn't normally get to interact with, and I loved it. So I guess it kind of begs the question of if we are going to do it in 2025, and I'm going to start by answering probably not, but I haven't completely ruled it out yet. Part of me wants to. Part of me also recognizes that May is the busiest month of my whole year for a lot of different reasons. Those of you with kids in school can probably understand some of that reasons. I also just have a lot of personal stuff that month. I also had finals week. It landed like right at the exact time as the challenge last year, and that ended up being very stressful. So it's just hard for me to absolutely know at this point that I can give up that weekend in May. If I hadn't have finished it, I would definitely be going back. But I do feel I have a sense of accomplishment about the whole thing. So I hope that I can participate. I don't know that it will be in 2025, but I do think I'll do it again some year. One year I will do it. It just may not be this next following one.
Answer.
I do think volunteering also sounds super fun. And if nothing else, I just think it would be fun to watch even. So who knows?
Yeah.
I might just be a fan.
I am a fan.
I might show up in my green hat and just cheer people on.
Yeah. Like, who is that lady? She's so
I
nice.
know. So Katie, tell us, are you planning on joining in the fun for 2025?
Well, I was.
She was gonna do it 15 times.
Yeah. My mind is still telling me yes, but my body is telling me no. I think I can blame like the good vibes of this year for that, because I became pregnant like instantly, like the next day.
Yeah.
So I think all the good vibes just like pulled the soul out of the ether and implanted it in my uterus to be a future participant.
So Katie's trying to tell the world is that she's expecting a baby.
Yes, and there's still such a huge part of me that wants to be like, oh, I'm gonna do it, it's fine, but I will be so newly postpartum, and this is my very first baby, so I will be trying to learn how to keep a new little human alive, and I think that's gonna be enough
at the same time.
So,
well, congratulations. It's a big deal to share that. Thank you for sharing it with us. And it's like an Ozark Mountain Challenge baby, yo.
it really is, and I just wanted to shout out, I don't know her name, but there was the lady carrying her baby up all day. And I had a really short conversation with her at one point, and she was so nice. I basically just told her that she was my hero and the type of mom that I hoped I would be someday. And she's like, if that's the kind of mom you want to be, you will. And so we were kind of talking, and I said, well, I don't have any yet, but my friends all do, and I've got nephews and nieces, so I get to enjoy them. And she said, like, well, don't give up. You'll get yours. Like, your time will come, basically. And so in some ways, I'm like, well, she put that out into the universe, because almost immediately it did come. It was kind of funny to finish this challenge feeling so strong, and like a month later be like fighting my second nap of the day.
Yeah. Well, that's totally understandable. I mean, considering.
I kind of love that it's sort of an Ozarks Mountain Challenge baby.
It really kind of is, which is kind of awesome. So maybe even if you're not able to go or even volunteer this year, you know, I can see you toting your little one up that hill in a year or two.
Yeah.
So new goals to work towards.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm excited.
Well, congratulations, Katie. I know all of our listeners are going to be super pumped for you, and I think it's going to signify some transitions, obviously for you in your personal life, but also for us at Highwater. And I'm really excited to see the directions that we go as we as individuals are changing and growing. And I'm just proud of us.
Yeah, me too.
Good job cooking that baby in there.
Thank you. He's been pretty pleasant so far, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and it's a boy.
No, I know. I was going to say you just dropped a he, but I
Sorry.
don't know if I should comment on that right now or not. But yeah, so life is good over here, guys. Life is growing and things are moving and shaking, and I don't think we'd probably have it any other way.
Yeah, and one final thing I just wanted to throw out there is that if this event kind of interests you, but you've never done anything like this and it's still intimidating and maybe you want to sort of like scope it out, you can volunteer. They have information on who to contact and we'll link that. But, you know, maybe you want to go and kind of get a feel for it and do a little volunteering and see what you think. That's always an option.
Yeah, and I know you guys did. I didn't get a chance to go out there, but a lot of people went out and like hiked the climb a few times to get a feel for it, and I would definitely recommend doing that, so you kind of know what you're up against. But I don't know that anyone should rule it out at this point. Like, there's so much time, and yes, it is hard, but you don't have to be a peak athlete to complete it. I think mostly you just need to be stubborn. It's
Absolutely.
that mental toughness as much as anything. So I hope if you're interested, you'll check it out. I know on the Facebook page they have photos and videos and promos and things from last year, so you can kind of get a better idea of what it looked like. But it was just a really, really good time, and so please go check it out. And everyone over at Poplar Bluff and involved in the Ozark Mountain Challenge, like, we're just super grateful for you guys. We had such a good time, and good luck. And I know that we'll both be seeing you again someday in our own time.
Yes. We will be back next month with something. We're not sure.
We're not sure. But we're going to put together a hiking trip, and so we're going to have some fresh hiking trail sound bites one of these days.
Some hot, fresh hikes.
hot, fresh hikes. Those things don't make sense. Those, in fact, are contradictory. But anyway, I'm starting to flail, so I probably should quit.
We're spiraling, so bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for listening. We love you. Bye. Come up here and get ready to record, and I'm like, oh, how do I speak again? I spend time in silence.
That's how I am when I go out in public, because I rarely do, and every time I become a little more aware of like the social skills I've lost.
Yeah. Oh. We're gathering here today.
Brothers and sisters.
Yes.
September 9th.
So,
Somebody help us.
someone help.